It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you stay alive. Swimming, basketball, archery. King Jellyjam Sports Camp has it all. Too bad Wendy isn't a total sports freak like her brother Elliot. But how excited can you get over a game of softball? It's just a game, right? Wrong. Because Camp Jellyjam is no ordinary sports camp. And Wendy's about to find out why. Why the counselors seem a little too happy. A little too obsessed with winning. And why the ground is always rumbling late at night.
Welcome back to Goosebumps Overviews, the show where we talk about Goosebump books and judge them on their merit. Tonight's episode is book number 33, The Horror Camp Jellyjam. There's the cover of The Horror Camp Jellyjam. I just feel like this guy on the cover here, he talks like this. Hi, how you guys doing? Welcome to Camp Jellyjam. Okay, it's enough of that. I actually like this cover. I like when covers are more detailed and give us like a more clear picture of the world. Although I would kind of appreciate a more detailed image of the camp, because all we get are these two shacks. But what's really important is the image of our camp counselor here. By the way, I don't think this guy actually appears in the book. Well, there's two counselors that are mentioned by name, besides a few other guys that don't really have much of a point in this novel. It's definitely not Buddy, because he's blonde and kind of, he has a neck. And the other one's a woman, so yeah. I think this might be a guy who gets mentioned once. I already forgot his name. But yeah, there we go. Not in the book. I'll count that as a thing. But it is really unnerving the way he's smiling with the 2,000 teeth, and the fact that he doesn't have a neck freaked me the hell out. Kind of gives me that pod people feel, which I feel like they were going for. So this story hosts two characters, our main character being Wendy and her brother Elliot, who's just along for the ride, I guess. They're on a trip with their parents. They're going on vacation to where, I'm not sure if they even mentioned that, but it's a long road trip. And you know kids in long road trips, they hate those. Basically, it's a ride through the country while the parents are like, oh look, cows. So the kids get a bright idea to ride in the trailer that their parents are pulling. The mom, being smart, says, no, that's illegal and dangerous. But the dad's like, I don't know, borderline retarded, and says, oh, it'll be fine, the kids will have fun. And guess what happens? They go down the mountain and crash, dying instantly. The end. They actually land at the bottom of the hill, and they're perfectly unharmed. Once leaving the trailer, they come across a camp counselor. A camp counselor? In the middle of nowhere? A pretty interesting coincidence there. They meet Buddy, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, very handsome devil, as Wendy describes. He's described as having a smile so big it seems like he has 2,000 teeth, which, sets off some pretty strange vibes to me. Right! But this camp counselor is all like, oh, hey there, kids. Come over to my camp. We'll call your parents right quick, and you can have a fun, good time while waiting for your parents to show up. It'll be fine. It'll be good. Come on. Wendy, being smart, shouldn't we wait by the trailer? No, it'll be fine. Don't need to wait by no trailer. So they go with him. Bad idea. At least Wendy was smart enough to question it, while the brother was like, hell no, I want to have some fun. So the camp counselor leads him to a camp that's, I guess, supposedly close by, called Camp Jellyjam, a sports camp where people play sports and to have fun, I guess. So the horrors of Camp Jellyjam start when Wendy starts noticing that people are going missing. You see, when kids win sports at this camp, they get these king coins, and when they get 6 king coins, they get to walk the winner's walk. However, when they walk the winner's walk, they're never seen again. I don't know, spooky. Yeah, we saw this in Camp Nightmare. Give me something new. You know, so Wendy goes up to the camp counselors like, hey, this kid's missing. What happened? And the camp counselor smiles, just like, oh, they're gone. It's all good. It's all good, girl. I totally lost the camp counselor voice I was giving him. So the first half is mainly just this charade of, you know, the camp counselors are trying to say everything's okay, and Wendy's trying to figure it out. And she slowly becomes a bit more paranoid when more and more people are disappearing. And she's figuring, hey, not everyone can be going home right after they win. That's too much of a coincidence. See, Wendy is one of the smarter Goosebump characters. I'll give her that. And that's basically the first half of the book. It's okay. It feels like more and more of a, you know, Camp Nightmare, except for not putting up with the fact that the camp counselors are suggesting that everything is in the character's head. They're just like, oh, I don't care. Yeah, they're gone. Whatever. It is kind of creepy, the fact that they're all smiling and basically acting like pod people. That's the only difference between this and Camp Nightmare, besides, you know, Camp Nightmare had a lot of interesting stuff woven in there to make it more interesting, where this is just kind of, it's kind of bland, really. And then the second half happens, and we get some answers. It's a bit rushed, and that's about it. Don't really have much to say about that. It's just, I guess it was surprising a bit. I didn't expect that. Like some more development on what happens here, but just kind of happens. And the ending, it's nothing really to write home about. I honestly forgot the ending of this book because, well, it's kind of a joke, I guess. Which not many Goosebump books do that. A lot of them have dark endings. Not this one. Just kind of a joke. The second half of the book, Wendy decides to follow the counselors late one night, and she discovers that the counselors are all hypnotizing each other. Wendy's watching this, and I guess like Buddy is like hypnotizing all the counselors while hypnotizing himself. I don't think hypnotizing works that way, but this happens. Wendy, being stupid, sneezes, and all the camp counselors turn around, point with their mouths wide open. Wendy runs away and discovers the true horrors of Camp Jellyjam. That's right, in the basement of this hidden building in the forest right outside the camp, she discovers where all the kids have been going. So yeah, all the kids who win are forced to wash a gigantic monster made out of jelly that sweats snails. It's really described as disgusting, and the smell being very putrid. And I appreciate the way to describe this. It's so disgusting. It's like sweating snails and stuff. Disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting. I love this description. But there's one thing that ruins it for me, is the fact that this thing's wearing a crown. And I'm just like, okay, you made this really goofy. And right as, like, we don't really get much information about this monster. I heard rumors that the re-release actually gives like an origin to this, but at the same time raises more questions about this, which is all really rather confusing. And yeah, the plot kind of just gets resolved. Wendy discovers the fact that if they all lay down flat on the ground, the monster can't really pick them up, and then the monster just dies because it smells so bad. Imagine a monster being created, or just any creature that dies from its own smell. God fucked up in your creation, didn't he? So yeah, it all gets resolved. The cops arrive in a rare Goosebumps appearance. I swear to God, that never happens in any of these. But the cops arrive. They break all the counselors free of their trance, and Elliot and Wendy go home. The end. Everything's nice and happy and resolved. There's like a little joke at the end because they're at home. They think they smell they think they smell like the monster, but the mom's just cooking Brussels sprouts. It's all good. So yeah, my rating of this book. Well, as I said before, it's rather bland and rushed. It doesn't make my brain hurt like some of the retardation in the last book. So for that alone, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. And I like the cover too. And I like some of the pod people thing going around. You know, the little pod people, the monster. It's okay to me. It's just kind of a meh book, you know. And hey, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. That's not a bad review. That's just kind of a meh for me. Alrighty, that's going to be doing it for this book. Make sure to stay tuned for tomorrow for next episode for book number 34, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. Have a scary